You know, I've always loved fishing crankbaits for walleyes in the weeds. It seems kind of counterproductive with all those open hooks, but it's something that I have loved to do. You know, the first walleye, one of the first walleyes that I caught on purpose, actually walleye fishing, was actually caught on a crankbait, a floating Rapala number 11, gold with a orange belly, on purpose, fishing shallow flats, Lake Nipissing here in Lapeer, casting in right around Father's Day, mid-June. It was actually June 18th. I had my wife with me. She was swatting mosquitoes and not very happy. I had my brother. He wanted to get home because it was getting dark. And just in that perfect twilight time where the sun has gone down at night, but it's still light, it's not dark yet, I hooked into a 26-inch walleye in about 6 feet of water over shallow water weeds, and I was hooked. Ever since then, I've looked for weed beds on purpose to fish both on big bodies of water like the Great Lakes and small inland lakes. I think walleyes love the weeds, and crankbaits is a great way to get them out of there. You know, we've known forever that walleyes live in the weeds. Our grandpa used to tell us you had to get up early to go catch walleye, and that's because there is a concentration, a quick little bite window in the morning in shallow water if you don't understand what's actually happening. If you don't understand and pay attention to what we're going to teach you right here, you're going to know why and how you can catch walleyes on crankbaits in the weeds all day long, all season long as the weeds are green. So let's get started talking about catching weed walleye on crankbaits. Okay, so why do walleyes love crankbaits when they're living in the weeds? And why do crankbaits work so well when we're fishing for walleyes in the weeds? Well, one simple answer to me sticks out, and that is because they imitate the bait that walleyes are eating. Now, when walleyes are in the weeds, most of the food that they're feeding on is bait. It's minnows, it's small shiners, it's young of the year perch, it may be some small suckers, it may be some other type of bait fish, maybe young of the year walleye, young of the year bass. But it's almost always meat, if you will. They do eat bugs. Walleyes do like to eat mayflies, but when they're in the weeds, they're in there looking for bait. They're in there looking for meat. They're in there looking for a steak. They're looking for a manly meal, and nothing imitates live bait, minnows, better than a crankbait does. And that's one of the reasons that crankbaits work so well for walleye in the weeds. But again, picking the right size, picking the right shape is all part of that. But crankbaits work great in the weeds because they imitate the bait that walleyes are chasing when they're living in the weeds. Okay, all right, let's move on to the shapes we want to have when we're picking our crankbaits for walleye fishing in the weeds. Picking the right shape is a very, very important first step in stocking your tackle box.